Okay, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about the new trailer that dropped. At first, I wasn't really, honestly, for the first time ever, going to play this mainline Pokemon game. I was going to skip it. After Legends Arceus, I played that a bit, but it felt like my relationship with the series, the franchise, had lost some luster. Though I did have fun in that game. But I think this one's going to bring me back. Scarlet and Violet seem pretty good. The trailers. Oh, I forgot to say hi. I'm Nev. Hello. The trailer was really good. The most recent one, which is kind of what sparked this video. So after I saw that trailer and kind of got my blood pumping, started getting excited, getting hyped, I went back and was looking at like different community videos. Excuse me. Sorry. I was looking at different community videos and kind of what they were talking about, their theories, I've been spoiled on too terribly much outside of what's officially been announced. Of course, I haven't gone looking for leaks, but this was honestly just going back and seeing what people were thinking and feeling. So I've kind of compiled things that I am excited and concerned about, put it in a little list here. I'm just going to go down and kind of talk about some of this stuff. Go from there. So the first thing, and this is going to be a reoccurring thing that we're going to start with and kind of get to other stuff and then come back to towards the end a little bit, but it's terrorizing. In regards to the aesthetic of it, terrorizing versus last mainline game, being Sword and Shield, Dynamaxing, comparing the two aesthetically, I think I like Dynamaxing a lot more. These big, huge, monstrous, sometimes cute or intimidating Pokemon in these big old Colosseums. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. That was a really, really cool mechanic, very exciting and fun. Terrorizing doesn't really have that effect aesthetically. I mean, some of them are kind of cute, like the balloons above the Pokemon head for flying type. You know, that has its own charm. But, I mean, Dynamaxing was just so intense and so baked into the region's lore and, like, their culture, which I really appreciated from a storytelling standpoint. So it's going to be hard for Terrorizing to beat it on that front. Now, mechanically, Dynamaxing was cool, fun, and interesting, has these different moves, and it increases their HP, which is neat, but Terrorizing, I feel, has the strength of being just so flexible. Any Pokemon of the 300 that we're probably going to be getting in this game, being able to change their type to anything they want. For high-end threats that already have a good typing and move pool to kind of taking advantage of that, they're going to be even stronger with the same type attack bonus on top of, you know, what we'll be getting from the Terra types, that extra multiplier, whatever it's going to be. And then you have like weaker Pokemon or Pokemon that are being held back by their typing that can now change that and really step up and be real threats. It's exciting to see. It's going to be interesting to see exactly where things land and how it's going to shape up competitively, or if it's going to be allowed competitively. I kind of hope it will. I really hope the damage multiplier that you get for the same type isn't too strong that it becomes too ridiculous. But I also wonder if it's going to be too random. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out, but I do hope that it survives and goes into competitive, but we'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. Maybe. It's a little daunting. One thing I really like about it as well is farming and hunting for the different types. Tons of replayability. You can just be playing forever, hunting for all these different Pokemon, all these different types. I think that's really, really cool. A good system. I like that a lot. As it's definitely the strength over Dynamaxing, where you get your Dynamaxes and you get your Gigantamaxes kind of caught and all that, and then you're done with the process. You got it. You kind of get everything set up and you're good. But with the auto battling, paired with the TM machine, I think those two mechanics kind of fed into each other. I don't think it would have made sense to have the TM machine with the craftables if auto battling hadn't been implemented. And I think auto battling and the kind of stuff we saw in Arceus kind of fed into creating the TM machine system, having that be kind of an acceptable and exciting part of the game, or at least that's what the developers thought. I kind of like it, the fact that it's kind of it feels like a very RPG system, which I really like. I love seeing Pokemon implement these. That's great. The what I'm worried about is depending on how rare some of these materials are, it might be a pain in the butt and feel like a step back coming from generations where we just had infinitely reusable TMs. Why get rid of that and that quality of life for a new system if it's just going to be more tedious? Again, I like the system. I like that RPG system, but if it's hard to get these materials and these league points, I guess that's the big one, is how does the league points actually going to really factor into it? That could cause some serious issues and make people kind of feel like it's a step sideways or step back. So we'll see on that. It's also going to be curious, are we going to be collecting recipes, or for TMs like, I think in the trailer we saw them pick up a Swift TM. Is there going to be a difference between TMs that you can craft and TMs that are collectible in the environment? So are you, like, if you collect them in the environment, are they going to be reusable? Is it going to be one-time use? Will you be able to craft those? Just a few questions, how they exactly want to do that. But, like, it'd be interesting to see if certain rare TMs can only be obtained through, you know, different things and can't be crafted. And I don't know, we'll see how that goes. But hopefully it's at the very least a step sideways and not a step down. We'll see. Tying into terrorizing versus Dynamaxing, the gym tests seem the same like the gym challenges, but without the big crowd and the stadiums, the Dynamaxed mons and the culture associated with it, and the da 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 da. You know, that is just not, to me, going to feel the same. It is just not going to feel the same. It's going to feel very, I guess, underwhelming. But maybe we're going to have that itch scratched with some of the encounters through the teams and through the Titan mons, that kind of storyline. So maybe we'll get that, and the gyms will kind of be something else, you know, that kind of thing. We'll have to see. That's my concern with the gyms, is that it's just not going to be as exciting and as hype because you don't have these big monstering mons battling it out, big laser water blah 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 attacks, and, you know, yeah. Character Creator seems great. Love the fact you can customize all of that, and probably for a pretty relatively inexpensive price. You know, some of the Poke dollars and stuff in game. So that's great. That's awesome. Really, really, really like that. The selfie mode's going to be ridiculous in social media. Great. Even myself, I'll probably post some stuff like early on while I'm excited and like my, you know, like blood's leaking out of my eyes and ears from playing too much. I can't wait for that. It's going to be great. Picnics seem fine as long as they're not a replacement for breeding. I'll be a little bit worried if you can't control that a little bit more, but I doubt it. I think that's just kind of a happy little, you know, finding the egg during the picnics. I think is supposed to be a happy, exciting event versus actually the breeding process. I'd be surprised if that were the case, but something to think about. Also 10 minutes for sandwich making. Would be interested to see what speedrunners have to say about that. Gets that sandwich, you know, one and done. Get that done in, like, you know, 10 seconds. It's also, the buffs look really good. Being able to, in these big, open, vast expanses, to control some of that catching power and counter power or what have you a little bit, I think is going to be a good thing. So I am very excited for that. I think that's good. Okay. I'll get this worked out. Where was I left off? Oh, okay, this is another thing. One of the biggest replayability things for me were the Terra raid battles. So much fun to play with friends, hours upon hours, getting the rare stuff. Look, it was really fun. I think the seamless combat with not really the taking turns and stuff is actually an improvement from the dens that we had last gen. Way more fast, way more fluid, not as janky. My worry is that with that new system being in place, if maybe the connection will be more of an issue, with that being a lot more real time. We will see. I am worried about disconnects with the Switch's internet kind of stuff. But I think it looks great. I think that's what I'll be interacting with the most for a lot of those rare types. Again, farming that out was one of the most exciting parts about the terrorizing, and the Terra raid battles look like exactly what I want them to be, and a little bit better with that seamless combat. That looks great. Curious what the odds of catching are going to be, and how adding more people to it, how that will affect it. I know there was some different stuff in the dens for the Dynamaxing mons and the Gigantamaxing mons. So we'll kind of see how that plays out and how that looks. I'm hoping that it's a really, really high rate of capture, because be like finding a mon that you really want and having it have that correct Terra type that you want. I mean, that's RNG on top of RNG. If it's too much, that's going to feel really bad. But I guess we'll see. Maybe there'll be a food combination that actually allows you to tailor the Terra types a little bit of what you'll be encountering. Though there's no way to know if the food buffs and stuff you get from the picnics are going to just be overworld, like affect the overworld, or if it's going to actually affect these different Terra battles. So I guess we'll see. I will see how that all kind of works, how that feels. That's kind of all of my thoughts on this. Overall, Terrorizing seems really good, really fun. I don't know if it'll make it into competitive, to be perfectly honest. Might be a little bit too either strong depending on the multipliers or flexible. How are you supposed to build a team about something if you have no idea what a certain threat is going to be? Though that may, I don't know, we'll see. It might be really volatile, but metas develop and it might be okay. It really depends on that same type attack bonus multiplier terrorizing that you have on top of that stab. That is going to be the key. If that's too strong, if that's 3 times the damage, that's going to be way too much. If it's just a little bump, if it, that'll be better. We'll have to see. I'm hoping it's not too much. I would like to see this into competitive. Either way, I'll play the snot out of it and destroy my friends. But yeah, that's kind of everything. I think it's going to be a good system. Not as flashy as I want, but it'll be good. I guess if you have any thoughts, opinions, feelings about the upcoming gens that you want to share down below, do it. I'd love to hear about your thoughts on some of these different Terra types and any mons that you kind of keeping an eye on. Like, oh, if it's in the game, it's going to be really strong with this, and for this reason. I mean, I love that, and that might be a video idea in the future. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again next time. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye.